Welcome back everyone to my second episode of Raw Opinions. It's my podcast where I talk about basically everything. It's purely audio podcast. You can listen to it everywhere. Like probably you're listening to it on YouTube, but you can also have it on Amazon or on Spotify. It's all free. You can listen to it freely and no money to spend because again, like, I'm a broke bitch, but I won't charge you to listen to my shitty ass podcast. Because there's a lot of stutter in it. I have a lot of hesitations. I am not educated because, I'm clearly not paid well enough. I'm not paid at all. Kidding, of course. As today's subject, I would have loved to talk about politics again, but I won't because I have no one to debate about it. And for me, if you want to talk about politics, you need to have someone to confront your own ideas. Now, I'd rather talk about my opinions on yearly games, like I call them, which is like Call of Duty, like games, FIFA, NBA 2K, because I'm pretty sure that everyone, including me, at least played one of these games once. I think that most people will listen to it, will also probably play this game on a regular basis, and buy them every year or every 2 years for some. So, I want to ask you a question first, and I want you to think about it along with me in the podcast. Why do you buy these games? It's a real question. Why do you buy your yearly Call of Duty, your yearly FIFA? I think it changed name now, but I'm still going to call it FIFA. Why do you still buy your yearly NBA 2K game, PES? I think it is. I'm not sure. Your yearly game, I will say, it's a franchise. The game doesn't change much from year to year. Why do you buy it? I think that people who buy this kind of games are people who first don't play much other games. I can be wrong, but I think that most people who buy the yearly FIFA only play FIFA and maybe one other game. Like, when I say one other game, it's one other paid game. Like maybe Call of Duty. I would say that the most common combo is FIFA and Call of Duty. At least it is in France. But maybe in the US it's Call of Duty and FIFA, Call of Duty and NBA 2K, Call of Duty and insert your yearly franchise. And I think it's still kinda odd because it's not like Pokemon. I can understand someone who buy Pokemon every year, even though it's not really every year anymore. But I hardly understand people who buy FIFA every year because the games are functionally the same. They play the same, they look the same. Basically, it's a retexturing of the previous game. And I always wonder, even when I was a kid, why do people buy these games? I can understand Call of Duty a bit more, even though I know people buy it for the online, and from what I see, the online barely changes. They could port the maps to other games. I'm sorry, they could just do that. It would be better for customers. So why do people buy FIFA, buy NBA 2K? Why do people buy these games that are functionally the same every year, which is basically just a reskin? And I want you to think, why do you buy these games every year? Or why do your friend buy these games every year? Personally, I think the last FIFA I played was FIFA 21, and I got it in 2023 for €1, something like that. Really not expensive. It's the kind of game where when it releases it's $40. I don't think they are $60. Maybe on Nintendo Switch, but again, if you play the Nintendo Switch version, you're a piece of shit, legit, because you're literally playing the world version of a game that is literally a shit game already. Basically, I'm sorry, I don't want to insult people who play this kind of games, but that's what I think. I think they are bad. And I would like also to advise people, because I think that these people don't play video game too much, and I want them to be able to open themselves to the video game industry outside of these specific games. Because if you bought a PS4 or PS5 just to play FIFA or Call of Duty, I'm sorry, you're missing so much about the gaming industry. Right there you have my copy of FIFA 2000, which was a PS1 release. Um, it's in French, of course, because I bought it in France a few years back. I think it cost me like $10, maybe a lot less, because again, like, it's the kind of games that do not sell well after the years they were released. I would say that if you like this kind of games, please buy them like a year or two after they release, because it will be much less expensive on you, especially if you buy it physical. If you have the PS5 digital edition, I'm sorry for you. You should have bought the OG one with the CD, the DVD reader, because like the disc reader, because when you only play digital games, you're not the master of what you can do with it. But it's another debate for another day. I think that people buy this kind of games yearly. First, people don't especially have much video game experience, not much pure video game experiences. Like, maybe you played Doom once, maybe you played Minecraft, maybe you played, I don't know, these kind of games, maybe you played Candy Crush and shit. But I'm pretty sure you never played, like, all the licenses. Some of you played God of War. I'm pretty sure that some of you played God of War. But yeah, really in general, I think it's people, like, if you ask them about what games they play, they will always tell you, yeah, I played God of War, I played Spider-Man PS4. I don't see much of these people on Xbox, even though I'm pretty sure they exist. Like, replace Spider-Man PS4 and God of War by Halo and stuff like that. I don't know what's on Xbox. I'm mainly a Nintendo Switch player, Nintendo Switch 1 player, and PC player also. So, I have a PlayStation, so I know a bit more what's on the PlayStation, but I don't know anything about Xbox, to be honest. So, I'm gonna guess it's Halo or a game that's really similar. I think Gears of War too, but pretty sure that there weren't any new games since like really recently or some stuff like that. So, I think that most of these people never had a major video game in their end. Like, when I say major video games, it's not one that sold that well, but one that is really fucking good. Like, when I say really fucking good, I think of Persona, I think of Shin Megami Tensei, I think of The Legend of Zelda. And these are not games I will tell people like to play immediately, because like, it's games that kind of boring for people who don't like to wait, basically, for impatient people. If, let's be honest, Zelda Ocarina of Time might be the greatest game of all time. I don't share that opinion, but I think that if you're not really patient, you won't like the game at all. Also, I will talk a lot about the second-hand market, because the advantage of the second-hand market is that it will be much cheaper for people who watch this podcast to get themselves some games. So first, what I would do if you still want to play these games, like Call of Duty and FIFA and NBA 2K, stuff like that, I think that your best bet would be to wait a year, or to buy it once every 2 years, but when you buy it, you don't buy this year's, you buy the last year's version of the game. It will be way cheaper than that. Like 2 years, if you really want to, like if you buy it, a version that's 2 years old, it will cost you literally nothing. Like, except if you change console, because I guess that most of you are consoles players and not PC players. And yeah, I'm marketed toward console players, because PC it's a bit different, because there's no physical release anymore. Like, physical release on PC it has been dead for years, which is kind of bad, I think, for the industry, because it's part of the industry to be able to resell your physical games. And also that's why I don't like the digital version of games, and I don't like what Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox are doing. Albeit Xbox, it's not as bad, because behind it they have a service which is like the Game Pass, which is amazing, objectively amazing. And PlayStation, at least like no Xbox at least the main console, the Xbox Series S, has a disk drive always. Even though I was the first one to remove the capability to use disk on one of the Xbox One's model, I think. Now on the current generation, it's the Xbox Series S that lacks it, and it's marketed as a cheaper console, so I can perfectly understand. It's not like the PS5 where like I'm pretty sure the PS5 Pro you have to buy the CD reader externally and it's not cheap. So I think you're like really better off always taking the console that can support physical drive, because at least you can resell your games. I think it wouldn't be much of an issue if we had the certitude that the games we buy, we can like maybe sell them on a online market or some stuff. But I think it's kinda not happening because it's do not benefit Sony, Nintendo and Xbox, who are clearly trying to kill the second-hand market. Nintendo effectively did it, because even in second-hand, every single Switch game is expensive as fuck. PS4 is modern, okay. PS5, it's not as good, but still, it's affordable. Nintendo is clearly not. Like, have you seen how much is fucking Scarlet and Violet with only the cartridge on second-hand? I can't find it below 40 bucks. 40 bucks for a game with not a cartridge that is like old now. Like it's, I think it's 2 years old. 1 or 2 year old. It's not a recent game. And that's why I will mostly focus on the PS4, because it's both a console I have. I buy second-hand games, not often, but I often see the prices and I know basically what I can recommend as games. So for Xbox users, well, you can pay attention. Some of those games are cross-platforms, and I think that most of you have Game Pass anyway. So like, look at the games on Game Pass. It might interest you. I would say that for Nintendo players, you're fucked. But like, genuinely, my like recommendation for Nintendo games: go first party, because they are really good, and go especially into the franchises like Fire Emblem and Paper Mario. They are always really fun games, even though they are turn-by-turn RPGs, both of them. Honestly, they are so fucking fascinating that you should 100% play them anyway, even though you're not very patient. Like Fire Emblem, you can just cheat through the game and read the dialogues, so it's okay. Like you can buy the games. These two games are good for you, Nintendo players, and you might also listen, because some of those games are like multi-platforms, so you can still get them on your Nintendo Switch. So yeah, your yearly Call of Duty, your yearly FIFA, instead of buying it the year they release at like 40 or 60 bucks, buy them a year later when it's much cheaper, or 2 years later. It's like good for your own money. And if you want to play more games, I would say to go to like funny games first. When I say funny games, it's action games that doesn't require you to have your brain basically plugged in and always think. This one is cross-platform, so I can recommend it to everyone. It's Doom. Like, clearly, if you can find Doom Eternal or Doom 2016, I would recommend it. Like, especially if you're adults, because again, like, it's a very gory game, so you should be aware that you shouldn't play it if you're a kid, of course. But if you're an adult and you want to discover new franchises, I would say Doom is a good beginning, because Doom, it's mostly actions, it's not waiting at all. I would also say to maybe buy yourself, if you have the money, because like Doom 2016, I bought it a few years ago for 10 bucks. It should be even cheaper now. If you can, buy your good fighting games. It's like the kind of games you can bring friends over and they are really cool in general. Like, it's Mortal Kombat, it's Street Fighter, it's Smash Bros if you're on Nintendo, but like, it's not traditional, so I don't think most people would like Smash Bros, but like, Street Fighter for me is the best. You can also try Mortal Kombat, which I think is the worst. Tekken is pretty good actually, If you like anime, you have a lot of anime fighters. I would say I didn't play it, but since I've played the other games on the PS2 and the Wii, I would say Sparking Zero could also be a good option if you like Dragon Ball. Of course, we can't ignore the Naruto games. Like I think it was Ninja Storm 4 on the PS4. I think I also have Ninja Storm 3 on the PS3, both physicals. They can be found for pretty cheap actually. Street Fighter and Tekken, since they are still active, because like it's competitive games, and since they are still active, they will not be as cheap as these two. But you can also maybe not 100% sure try like some collections. It's not for everyone, but recently Capcom really had at heart to re-release the Capcom vs games, which are like games which are crossover between Capcom, so Street Fighter, Resident Evil and all, cross another franchise. They did Street Fighter cross SNK, which is really good. You should give it a try. SNK, it's not Shingeki no Kyojin, Attack on Titans. SNK as the society who made the King of Fighter games. But it's my favorite on Marvel vs. Capcom, and since Marvel is trending, I would say that it's the best option for most of you guys. It's really fun. If you can play Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, it's already really good. The third one can be found on PC, but I'm not sure. I think it has a PS4 release, but I'm not 100% sure. I know it's on Xbox, and it's really retro compatible as fuck, so it should be okay. And I think it's like 2 or 3 games per collections, which like you have a pretty good margin on it. I talked about the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, which is pretty recent, but the one I have is the Street Fighter collection, and it has it has a lot of different versions, so it's pretty much inflate the number of games. But it has Street Fighter 1, 2 and 3 and the Alpha Trilogy, which is basically 6 games. Maybe there's one more. Maybe one day they will also re-release the Street Fighter EX games, which I hope, and if they do, I really recommend you to like buy a collection of these games, because Street Fighter EX was like a spin-off series which is basically a mix between Tekken and Street Fighter. It's not the greatest, but it's still really cool. Also, among the games you should all play, I think, at least for testing, if you like fighting games. I know that Street Fighter 6 did it when it released. I won't recommend Street Fighter 6 because again it's expensive. It's not really as fun as other games. I would say that I don't think there are demos anymore, but when a game releases, if you really want to try it, sometimes they do beta release, which are pretty cool. Basically they just give you access to the game and all, and you can try. It's basically playtesting to see if the players like the game, if they have to recalibrate characters and stuff. And also I really recommend that. It can make you discover a lot of games. I would also say for our avid FIFA fans, like, to try co-op games, because there's a bit of cooperation. I think there are co-op mods in FIFA anyway, but also versus and all. And since you have a lot of friends on your friends list from playing too much FIFA, I'm kidding, of course, you should try Monster Hunter, which is really fun. Basically you get 4 friends, and it's basically hunting round. The problem with Monster Hunter is that when a new game release, the last one basically get deserted. I would say that if you're really motivated, World would be the best option on the PS4 and the PS5. It's a really complete game. It was really loved by a lot of people. And the last one, Monster Hunter Wild, I think it is, don't have a lot of good reviews. I haven't played it, and I don't intend on playing it, seeing that the game is really short. But you can play with friends. It's pretty chill. Again, you have to like hunting stuff and all. It's a game that requires patience, but not that much, because again, it's still an action game where you have to kill monsters and all. It's pretty cool. Most of you should like it, really. Just find a group of friends that are available every week to play with them, and you're good. you have a really, really, really fucking good time. I remember I used to play Monster Hunter with friends. It was Monster Hunter 4 on the 3DS actually, and it was a blast every time. So if I can have fun with friends on Monster Hunter on the 3DS, I think you can have fun with the PS4 version of the game. And there's also a thing that, if you're still listening to the podcast, is that you've tried these games or you're still interested in what I have to say, and I have to thank you. It's really kind, it's really cool, because I love to talk. I think it's pretty obvious since I'm yapping since like 20 minutes now, something like that. I would say that once you have that, you can try JRPGs. When you're really advanced in that, it means that you have patience. You can try JRPGs. It's turn-based and RPGs, by the way. A lot of people would recommend the Final Fantasy games, but people who like Final Fantasy VII because it's especially not like any other Final Fantasy. So I would more recommend an Atlas game. Shin Megami Tensei is a good pick, but I would say to more go with a Persona, because Persona is more mainstream. Also, if you like puzzle games, you should also try Catherine, which is also available on Switch and on Xbox. Also, other games that you could like, well, Spider-Man PS4 is like good. I haven't played the main game. I've played Miles Morales, but it's pretty cool. Really, the physics is fun and all. But Sony has a lot of interesting games. They are not on sale really often, but they still have really pretty good games, and you all should try them. And I think I've said everything I had to say. So, to make a short compare advice, if you like FIFA, it's not a problem. If you want to still buy it every year after this podcast, perfectly understandable. Like, I buy Fire Emblems when they release, and honestly sometimes it's not worth it. I 100% say it. Like, the last one was Engage, it wasn't that great. But still keep in mind that you can play much more. And I talk about the legal way, but you can still pirate. I'm not the one to judge. But really consider playing other games, opening yourself, talk to people. It's really cool. And to everyone who is still listening, I wish you a great night. I will see you next week on Raw Opinions. It was great having you all. Goodbye.